UNESCO has released a new science report for 2020 that tracked the developments and investments by private equity firms and venture capital operators in Africa's fintech sector. The report indicates a rapid growth over the past 3 years, especially in 3 headline countries of Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, and Egypt. For the current year, 2021, the speed of growth in this sector remains apace and could beat the year 2020. Speaking to me on this right now is Niyi Yusuf. He's the managing partner at Verraki Africa. Niyi is live here with me in our Lagos HQ studios. Good morning. Great to have you.
Good morning.
Who is investing? What are they investing in? What are the factors driving to this investment? Each time I hear the flutter wave and the rest, I say, hey, maybe I was born a little bit earlier. Maybe I should just waited a few more years and be part of this money flowing around into Africa into young, well, sometimes adult folks who are creating new things on the continent in the fintech space.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, sometimes I also share same feelings. But what I've done is just jumping. It's never too late. Who is investing? I think typically your venture capital firms, your private equity firms, started from those based in US, in Europe, but now we're having quite a lot of VC firms and PE firms based in Africa, even in Nigeria. Your Verrol, your Telecom, even Verraki Partners, a company where I work for, we also invest. But what I've also seen the last few years is the rise of the individual investors, what is called the angels, right? So you have individuals who have formed angel funds who are then investing in African startups. And then we also have the successful entrepreneurs, your likes of Inya Boyeji, GB of Flutterwave, who have also turned themselves into investors. And they are now investing in young enterprising startups. And so on the continent is a mix. You have VC firms, PE firms, family funds. We're also having angel investors, you're having individuals. And we're beginning to have entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs investing in younger entrepreneurs.
I like the fact that we're putting our money where our mouth is and our mouth where our money is. So, but how are these investments and startups changing the way we work and live across the continent?
Well, so first is to understand that the continent is still a continent that requires building and that requires a lot of infrastructure. The things that you see in the modern world, in the first world, you don't have them on this continent. But be that as it may be, those challenges provide opportunities. And I can quickly give a few examples. We've seen a lot of investment in the fintech space. And so in fintechs today, your average SMEs or individuals can set up an online shop with just clicking a few things. Can begin to accept payments through various channels, USSD, credit cards, etc. Now, 3, 6, 7 years ago, those things will cost you like about 250,000 to do, will take you 2 weeks to do. But today, an individual can do all of that by just subscribing to a Paystack or a Flutterwave, 2 minutes, and you're online, you're accepting payments. If you look at the education space, so last year, we had a huge crisis, COVID pandemic, that affected both health and education. So companies like ULesson and a lot of others came up with schemes that allows students to download materials online and be doing teaching online. That's fintech. In the health space, you have companies like LifeBank that provides blood through digital delivery. You have companies like AHA, which we have invested in, that allows you to aggregate and buy drugs from trusted pharmaceuticals online, right? I mean, you could look at logistics. So a company like Obo 360, like Lorry, they allow you to order delivery. And today, most young ones order delivery and then they buy things online and those things are delivered to their homes. Those delivery mechanisms are also a few ways that our life, the way we work and live, has indeed changed based on these startups.
Yeah, so if we look at the sub-Saharan Africa, we look at Africa as a whole, about 4 countries seem to stand out: Nigeria, Kenya, Egypt, South Africa, and Kenya. Why do these countries at the top of is it the population? What is it? And what other countries are emerging outside these 4?
Yeah, so indeed, the top 4 in terms of number of startups, in terms of number of investments,
incubators, and the rest.
Yeah, it's Nigeria, it's Kenya, it's Egypt, it's South Africa. And I think those reflect regional leadership. So Nigeria is the regional leader in West Africa, whether in terms of population or in terms of the economy, the size of the economy. Egypt is the regional leader in
North Africa.
North Africa. South Africa is regional leader down south, and Kenya. And so those are regional leaders, regional centers. They are big economies. They have huge talent pool compared to the other countries within the region. And I also think they're able to attract capital. And so the size of the market, the size of the talent pool, the vibrancy of the startup ecosystem in those regional markets are part of the things that have led to those four.
Do you think these four countries, North, East, West, and South, should be able to spin off other
Absolutely.
within the region? For example, Nigeria and West Africa, for example, do you think that they should be able to spin off in Ghana, in Cote d'Ivoire, the way down to Sierra Leone and Senegal?
So indeed, the fifth country is Ghana.
That is emerging.
Absolutely, is Ghana. And then the sixth and seventh is between Tunisia and Morocco. And then the next one you watch out for will be Tanzania, right? And so we're beginning to have that spin-off effect. So it's Ghana,
Contagious.
it's Tanzania, it's Tunisia, it's Morocco. And hopefully we'll begin to get more. But those are the other four that we're seeing a lot of investment.
So we've got about 5 unicorns in Nigeria so far in many years. Should we expect more unicorns in Nigeria? Tell me anyone who's coming. I could have some spare cash to put in. Let me check my pocket.
Yeah, I mean, if I know, I really.
No, you'll be here. You'll be ahead of me if you know.
Absolutely.
But tell me, just give me a hint.
My reckon
Lead
is that there will be a few unicorns. I actually expect there will be a unicorn in the next 6 months. That will come out, given what I know. And I think it's really due to the size of the market. And also the kind of the problem they are solving. And when you solve a huge problem that millions of people are willing to buy for, they're willing to pay for the solution, that attracts investment. And that's what gets you to become a unicorn. So yeah, 5 unicorns in 5 years. I'm sure we'll have one in another 6 to 7 months, and there'll be much more to come.
But again, what can we do to sustain this trend, this leadership position in terms of unicorns, investment, and startups in Africa, on the private sector side, on the side of investors, but also very important on the side of the government?
Yeah, right. So, like GB or Flutterwave would say, the sources they've recorded is directly linked to some of the actions of the central bank and the creation of NIPS as a central aggregator that allows you to then connect easily. But I think there are like 4 or 5 things we need to do for Nigeria to sustain this leadership. The first is on talent, right? We need to massively invest in education. Science, technology, engineering, health, and math. We need to invest in education. We need to invest in talent. We need to be able to attract talent back, as opposed to the migration that we're seeing now. After investment in talent, the second will be in infrastructure. It's good that the country now wants to do 5G. We need to invest in infrastructure and make sure infrastructure leaves the shorelines and go inside, up north, so that it's really available to all. The third is access to capital, right? We need to find means to have easy access to capital, both domestic and foreign capital. And of course, we must grant access to markets, right? Schemes and that's where government can play a part, that allows companies to have access to government data, that allow companies to have access to other schemes. So when you have access to market, then you're able to tap that market. And Nigeria is a big market. Lagos is like the 6th biggest market on the continent, and then Nigeria, of course, is what it is. The fifth thing is around government policy. Government regulations. And by one stroke of the pen, so the creation of NIPS is a policy that has helped. And so we need to have more relevant government policies that will enable the market. And last, it's about collaboration, networking and collaboration. We need to collaborate with the other regional leaders. We need to collaborate with folks in the Silicon Valley, in Berlin, in the Nordic countries, so that begins to make us part of a global ecosystem. So I'm comfortable that if we do those 6 things, Nigeria will continue to sustain.
It's a very
this
important
leadership.
point. The last one, which looks like a new one to me after everything I've heard so far from folks in your industry, in terms of linking these unicorns and fintech startups in Nigeria with the wider world, rather than just staying regional and Nigeria. Yes, 200 million people market is good and it's big. But again, if you have 9 billion on the planet, I'd rather go for 9 billion.
Absolutely. And I think that's part of what the African Free Continental Trade Agreement presents.
Interesting.
So, I mean, you've moved from a market of 200 in Nigeria to a 1.3 billion market in Africa. But more importantly, like you said, there's a bigger 9 billion market. I mean, there's a lot of affinity between Nigeria and India, right? So if you look at a company like Fair Money, that's one of the fintechs focused on Nigeria and India. Two huge markets. So that's a market of like 1.5 billion population.
Take me there. I love the sound of that. I can do million, but I can do billions.
Absolutely.
You know billions better. It's a very simple math.
Absolutely.
New Yusuf, enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thanks, boss.
And today, Friday. Thank you so much, New Yusuf from Verraki, Africa.